Have you ever wondered about the sandwiches that once delighted our taste buds but have now disappeared from our family tables? What happened to those classic creations that were once so popular? From the hot and hearty to the quirky and inventive, these sandwiches were once staples of our meals and social gatherings. Yet as taste and trends evolved, they gradually vanished, leaving only memories and a touch of nostalgia. So join us as we explore the 13 forgotten sandwiches that faded from your family table. Number 13. Cream Corn Sandwich. The cream corn sandwich was a simple yet comforting dish that appeared during the mid-20th century, gaining popularity particularly in the 1970s and 1980s across the U.S. This humble creation, enjoyed by families at kitchen tables and diners, featured slices of soft bread filled with a creamy golden mixture. The sandwich evoked nostalgic memories of cozy picnics and leisurely Sunday lunches. Back then, to make this sandwich, people started with sweet corn kernels, using either frozen corn or fresh corn on the cob. The corn was boiled until tender and then cooled. Grated carrots, chopped onions, juicy tomatoes, and fragrant coriander leaves were added for texture and flavor. For the creamy version, softened cream cheese was the main ingredient, but for those who preferred a melty, cheesy twist, mozzarella, Gouda, or Havarti slices were used instead. The preparation involved spreading a layer of green chutney or a favorite sandwich spread on slices of bread. The corn mixture was generously layered with melting cheese or cream cheese before being topped with another slice of bread, butter side up. The sandwich was then grilled until the cheese melted and the bread turned golden brown. The result was a warm, comforting bite that balanced sweetness, creaminess, and a hint of spice. As culinary taste evolved and new food trends emerged, the cream corn sandwich gradually faded from mainstream menus. Its simplicity may have lost favor in a world seeking more exotic flavors, but for those who remember it, the sandwich remains a cherished memory, a comforting slice of the past that once graced family tables. Number 12. Fried Spam Sandwich. The fried Spam sandwich was a simple yet iconic creation that gained prominence in the mid-20th century. It emerged out of necessity during World War II when rationing made Spam, a canned meat product with a long shelf life, a staple in many households. Families used Spam as a reliable source of protein, and the fried Spam sandwich became popular due to its affordability and ease of preparation. The sandwich featured slices of Spam fried until crispy, offering a savory and salty flavor, and was typically served on white bread with a smear of mustard or mayo for added zest. In the 1950s and 60s, the sandwich reached its peak. Post-war prosperity and the rise of suburban culture contributed to its widespread popularity. It became a common feature in lunchboxes, picnics, and diners across America. The sound of Spam sizzling in a skillet was a comforting reminder of home for many. However, as taste began to change in the 70s and beyond, the fried Spam sandwich started to lose its appeal. Growing health concerns about processed meats and high sodium content led people to seek fresher and more diverse food options. Fast food chains and exotic flavors began to overshadow this once popular sandwich, causing it to fade from menus and home kitchens. In the 2000s, nostalgia for past food trends brought the fried Spam sandwich back into the limelight. Food bloggers, chefs, and enthusiasts rediscovered its charm, adding creative twists such as pineapple, cheese, or pickles, and using artisanal bread. Number 11. The Baloney Salad Sandwich. The bologna salad sandwich, also known as bologna salad, had modest beginnings. It started as a cost-effective substitute for ham salad. Home cooks would use tabletop meat grinders or food processors to grind up ring bologna or hot dogs, or a mix of both. This mixture was then turned into a simple spread, which people spread generously on white bread. Sometimes they added a slice of cheese or a bit of lettuce to make it a no-fuss lunch. The name bologna salad sparked lively debates among families, with various regional names and preferences. Some called it deviled ham salad, poor man's ham salad, or even the less appealing monkey meat. Despite the different names, this classic sandwich spread had been a staple for generations. To make this old-fashioned treat, you needed a few basic ingredients. Bologna was the main component. You could use it in chunks or slices, and some people even added hot dog wieners. Pickle relish was another key ingredient. Sweet relish was common, but dill relish could be used if you preferred dill pickles. Mayonnaise served as the creamy binder that brought everything together. Both real mayonnaise like Duke's and salad dressings such as Miracle Whip worked well. Simple seasonings like salt and pepper were used to taste. Over time, the bologna salad sandwich gradually disappeared from family tables. Changing taste, health concerns, and a shift towards more gourmet options contributed to its decline. However, for those who remembered it, the sandwich remained a nostalgic comfort food, a reminder of simpler times when a basic sandwich could satisfy hunger easily. Number 10. Cold Meatloaf Sandwich. Years ago, meatloaf dinners were a staple in American homes, often served once a week. It was a hearty and comforting meal that frequently resulted in leftovers. A great way to use those leftovers was to make a delicious meatloaf sandwich. The cold meatloaf sandwich had simple origins. It was straightforward, no-frills fare that provided hearty sustenance. The sandwich gained popularity in the mid-20th century, especially after World War II, when people valued convenience and frugality. To recreate this classic sandwich, you would start with a thick slice of cold meatloaf, nothing too thin. Adding a slice of cheese like American, cheddar, Swiss, or pepper jack would enhance the flavor. White bread or sourdough bread served as the perfect base, which could be toasted for a warm version. Spreading mayonnaise and mustard on the bread was typical, and for extra zest, dill pickles and red onions could be added. A fresh lettuce leaf added a bit of crunch, and tomato slices or ketchup were optional but traditional additions. Some preferred their meatloaf sandwiches hot. For this version, one would sear the meatloaf slice in a non-stick skillet until it was warm and slightly crispy. After toasting the bread, the sandwich would be assembled with mayo, cheese, the warm meatloaf, and any preferred toppings, then grilled until toasty and melted. As fast food options became more popular, the cold meatloaf sandwich slowly disappeared from family tables. However, food enthusiasts have recently rediscovered this classic, giving it a modern twist with artisanal bread, gourmet cheeses, and homemade condiments. Number 9. Banana and Mayonnaise Sandwich. The banana and mayonnaise sandwich was a quirky Southern delight that made its mark on family tables. If you'd never come across this sandwich before, it might have seemed unusual. However, in the South, it was considered a cherished classic. It featured slices of ripe banana placed between two slices of white bread, generously spread with mayonnaise, traditionally Duke's. The magic of this sandwich lay in its simplicity. The natural sweetness of bananas combined unexpectedly well with the slight saltiness of mayo. It offered a sweet, savory experience that delighted the taste buds. During the Great Depression, when being frugal was crucial, the banana sandwich gained popularity. People needed inexpensive, calorie-rich meals to get through long days of physical work. Both mayo and bananas were readily available Southern staples, making the sandwich an affordable and comforting choice. Its popularity soared during the 30s and 40s, a time when people sought out affordable comfort foods. Interestingly, bananas weren't originally from the South. They came from Papua New Guinea and were brought to the Americas by Portuguese and Spanish explorers. Once considered a luxury, bananas had become a common supermarket item by then. The banana sandwich bridged continents, bringing tropical sweetness to Southern tables. Making a Southern banana sandwich was quite simple. You started with white bread, preferably Sara Lee or Wonder. After spreading mayo on both slices of bread, you added banana slices on top of the mayo and then assembled the sandwich. There were also variations. Some added peanut butter for extra richness, others included crispy bacon, and a few featured bananas with lemon juice, sugar, and chopped nuts. Number 8. Peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich. During the Great Depression and the tough years that followed, many households struggled, but peanut butter and mayonnaise emerged as unlikely heroes. These basic ingredients helped families get by when times got hard. They didn't just provide sustenance, they combined to make a sandwich that once rivaled the classic peanut butter and jelly, especially in the American South. This unusual sandwich combination started in the 1930s and gained popularity through the 60s. Back then, newspapers featured recipes suggesting that adding mayonnaise to peanut butter could make the thick paste more spreadable. It was like turning simple ingredients into something special. Opinions on the taste varied. Some people loved it, while others were skeptical. The sandwich had a unique twist, a generous layer of mayo with the nutty peanut butter. The result was a tangy, creamy, and slightly savory flavor. Though it might have seemed strange, many fondly remembered their grandmas making these sandwiches, evoking a sense of nostalgia. In 1948, the Salt Lake Tribune even recommended moistening peanut butter with mayo before mixing it with bacon. Yes, bacon, and spreading it on a hearty sandwich. Other recipes from that era suggested combining peanut butter with mayo and diced pickles or deviled ham. Clearly, this sandwich had its moment. As food trends changed, so did taste, and new favorites emerged. Peanut butter and mayo gradually faded from family tables, but for those who remember, it remains a cherished memory. Number 7. Chicken Liver Sandwich. Introduced by Ashkenazi Jews in Alsace-Lorraine during the 11th century, originally used goose liver, similar to Jewish foie gras. As chickens became more popular than geese, chicken liver eventually replaced it as the main ingredient. When Eastern European Jews immigrated to the United States, chopped liver arrived on the East Coast and became a staple in Jewish delis. The special taste of chopped liver came from its unique preparation. In Jewish delis, the livers were broiled until all the blood was removed, which was an essential step for keeping the dish kosher. The final product was dense but spreadable, with a rich, earthy flavor. This dish evoked strong family memories and centuries of tradition. However, as food trends evolved and taste changed, chopped liver gradually faded from the spotlight. Newer sandwiches and dishes took its place, leading to its decline in popularity. Despite this, for those who remember it, chopped liver remains a cherished part of culinary history. It symbolizes resourcefulness and the simple joys of comfort food. Whether enjoyed on rye bread or in matzah sandwiches, chopped liver continued to evoke nostalgia and connect people to past generations. Number 6. Pimento Cheese Sandwich. The pimento cheese sandwich, which originated in the U.S. in the early 20th century, was a popular dish made from imported cheeses and pimento peppers. It first appeared in a 1908 Good Housekeeping recipe, where the combination of soft cream cheese and minced pimentos quickly won over many taste buds. The sandwich gained widespread popularity, particularly in the South, where Georgia farmers grew red peppers, roasted them, canned them, and shipped out millions of cans each year. The Masters Tournament, which started in the 1940s, played a key role in making the pimento cheese sandwich famous. These simple yet flavorful sandwiches became a staple at the Masters, enjoyed by both golf fans and food lovers. The experience of biting into a creamy, tangy filling with a touch of smoky sweetness, all sandwiched between slices of soft bread, became a beloved comfort food. It was perfect for sunny days on the golf course or for relaxing picnics. These sandwiches continue to evoke nostalgia, reminding people of simpler times and the joy of classic flavors, whether served at church picnics, school potlucks, or upscale southern restaurants. Number 5. Scrapple Sandwich. Scrapple, also known by the Pennsylvania Dutch name panhaas, had its origins with early American settlers who aimed to use every part of the pig, including the less desirable scraps. They combined these pork remnants with cornmeal and spices to create a hearty dish that helped them through long workdays. The concept of scrapple can be traced back to the pre-Roman Europe, but its more direct ancestor was the Low German dish called panhaas. When adapted to local ingredients in Pennsylvania, it became known as panhaas. In the 17th and 18th centuries, German colonists near Philadelphia and Chester County refined their scrapple recipes. The dish was made from hog offal, such as the head, heart, liver, and other trimmings, boiled with bones to create a flavorful broth. Cornmeal was then added to the broth, resulting in a thick mush. Minced meat was mixed back in, seasoned with sage, thyme, savory, black pepper, and other spices, and formed into loaves. Once cooled, the scrapple set into its distinctive shape. Traditionally, scrapple was fully cooked when bought. It was sliced into thin pieces and pan-fried until browned, creating a crispy crust. Some people coated it with flour before frying, while others deep-fried or broiled it. Typically served as a breakfast side, Scrapple went well with sweet or savory condiments like apple butter, ketchup, maple syrup, or mustard. Number 4. Mock Ham Salad Sandwich. During the Great Depression, a simple yet tasty sandwich was created as a practical response to the tough economic times. Ground bologna was turned into a flavorful filling, complemented by the crunch of sweet pickles and the creaminess of mayonnaise. This affordable and straightforward creation quickly became a favorite among families across America. To make a mock ham salad sandwich, people finely ground or chopped bologna, reflecting the era's resourcefulness with available ingredients. The chopped bologna was mixed with finely chopped hard-boiled eggs and sweet pickles or relish. Some added finely chopped onion for extra taste. In another bowl, mayonnaise and yellow mustard were combined to make a tangy dressing. This dressing was then poured over the bologna mixture, which was seasoned with salt and pepper before being thoroughly mixed. A generous amount of the mock ham salad was spread onto slices of bread. For added freshness and crunch, lettuce leaves and sliced tomatoes were included. This sandwich offered a practical and enjoyable meal that helped families make the most of what they had during difficult times. Number 3. Egg and Sardine Sandwich. This classic sandwich, once a familiar sight on family tables, had a fascinating history. In the mid-20th century, sardines were more than just a trendy snack. They were a common pantry item. The egg and sardine sandwich gained popularity during the 50s and 60s, becoming a favorite among families across Europe and North America. This simple yet satisfying combination typically included sliced hard-boiled eggs and canned sardines, with some variations featuring lettuce, tomatoes, and pickles. A dollop of mayo or a drizzle of hot sauce often added an extra layer of flavor. As taste changed over time, the egg and sardine sandwich gradually fell out of favor. Growing health concerns about canned fish, especially sardines, played a significant role in its decline. Additionally, bacon and other meats began to take center stage in sandwiches, pushing sardines to the sidelines. Despite its disappearance from modern menus, the sandwich remains a nostalgic memory for those who enjoyed it. Number 2. Potted beef sandwiches. Potted beef spread sandwiches were a hit in the mid-20th century, especially during the 1970s and 80s. These sandwiches featured a creamy filling made from beef cubes marinated in lime juice and a mix of spices like coriander, red chili powder, ginger, and garlic. A touch of honey mustard and mayonnaise added extra flavor. The combination of ground and shredded meat gave the spread a pleasing chewiness. However, as food trends changed and people became more health conscious, the popularity of potted meat sandwiches declined. Consumers began preferring fresher, less processed options. Despite its decline, potted meat was known for its convenience, as canned versions were readily available and didn't need refrigeration. To recreate this nostalgic treat, one would marinate beef cubes, pressure cook them with spices, shred the meat, and mix it with mayo and honey mustard before serving it on buttered bread. Potted cheese sandwiches, popular in the same era, used a blend of cream cheese and potted meat between slices of bread. These sandwiches were enjoyed cold and cut diagonally. Like potted meat, potted cheese sandwiches fell out of favor as taste evolved. Similarly, potted meat and scrambled egg sandwiches, which combined soft scrambled eggs with potted meat and seasoned with salt and pepper, became less popular as culinary preferences changed. Despite their decline, these sandwiches were once a comforting choice for both breakfast and lunch. And at number 1, Cheese and Marmite Sandwich. The cheese and Marmite sandwich was an unusual combination that once appeared in lunchboxes and cafe menus. Marmite, a savory spread made from yeast extract, was first introduced in the late 19th century. It became especially popular in the UK and Commonwealth countries during the mid-20th century. Marmite had a reputation for its strong, salty, and yeasty flavor, which people either loved or disliked intensely. While Marmite was traditionally spread on buttered toast, the cheese and Marmite sandwich offered a new twist by adding cheese to the mix. The sandwich was made with thick slices of tiger bread, though sourdough or white bloomer were also options. A mixture of cheddar and red Leicester cheeses, or just cheddar alone, was used. Marmite was spread sparingly on one side of the buttered bread, and then layers of cheese were added before topping with another slice of buttered bread. The sandwich was toasted until the bread turned golden and the cheese melted. Over time, the sandwich faded from popularity. As people's taste changed, Marmite's strong flavor and the intense cheese-Marmite combination fell out of favor. Despite its decline, the cheese and Marmite sandwich was once a quick and satisfying choice for lunch or brunch. It paired well with salt and vinegar crisps, which provided a delightful contrast. In Australia, Marmite could be substituted with Vegemite, which offered a similar taste experience. And there you have it, 13 forgotten sandwiches that once graced our family tables but have since faded into memory. Which of these classics do you miss the most? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more nostalgic content.